Alrighty, guys, it is time to do my NBA 2K League coaches tiers list. So, this is a list that has been requested actually by somebody. I actually was asked to make this list. So, what I did was I created the all-time basically accolades, I guess you could say, is what I've created. So I have tracked down everyone's title wins, banner wins, how far they got in the tournaments. I also tracked All-Star coach, coach of the year, playoff appearances, and what season they completed it in. I also tracked their tournament records, their all-time records, their win percentages, and everything. I have tracked everything. So now I also have every single NBA 2K League trade ever. So every trade that's ever been made has been tracked. So now we can also judge these coaches and GMs off of trades they have made and how they have worked out. And we'll talk about that. We'll look through some of these trades and we'll see, how they panned out and, how this affects the GM and if it ranks them lower or higher than another guy. This will be used as like a kind of like a third source for when we're determining any like 50-50s. But you see a lot of these trades. This is every trade in 2K League history. I have it all right here. Like I said, this is everything. But we're going to go through all these trades and we're going to break them down and see, what GM messed up and what GM did the right thing. But anyway, we're going to start by talking about the qualifications for each tier. So if you are an S tier, and there can only be one S tier in my book, unless it's like so undoubtedly close to where we have to have two people up top. But I think it's pretty clear who's going to be up top. But we're going to work from the bottom first. Actually, we'll work from the top, and we'll work our way down. But the S tier is the best. D tier is the bottom of the pit. So you see a lot of coaches and GMs on here. You've seen some with similar, that are from the same org, just like Adam and Dewan. You have Rustin, you have Josiah and Mike Newton, who are all from Warriors Gaming. I felt it was an injustice to leave them off just because they've been a part of the administration. So I think that they belong in here. There are some people definitely you could probably put on here. I know the Mavs that had a couple GMs. I know there's a lot of orgs on here that have GMs. I could put Claire on here. Unfortunately, I didn't put her on. But like I said, we're gonna go through all these teams. We're gonna figure out all the best GMs. And like I said, I took the time to do this because I really wanted to kind of break down a lot of stuff. So, like I said, there's a little legend on the left side here that tells you what everything means. So, the number one coach is going to be Pete Cross. Like everybody knows us. The S tier coach is definitely Pete Cross. It's because what Pete Cross has accomplished over his 3 years. We'll actually look right now into his 3 years and what he's done. So if you guys don't know, Pete Cross has won two titles. He has made a finals appearance in season 3 and 4. He won Coach of the Year in season 4. He was an All Star coach in season 4. He has been to the finals for the Churn, season 3. He was in the ticket in season 4 for the Final Four. He was in the Final Four for the Churn again in season 4. His record all time, it's one of the best records of all time in 2K League history. He has one of the best. I'm pretty sure he has the best win percentage in 2K League history. 69%. He's 87-39. He has the best win percentage ever in 2K League history. He's 45-21. He's undoubtedly the GOAT in the 2K League at this point. But he is going to go under my S tier just because I don't see anybody else even coming close to him. I mean, if there's somebody that you guys think arguably could be there, be my guest, but I don't see anybody else. I think that he is just the best because of his accomplishments and what he's done over the years, but that's where I put him. The next coach, I mean, three coaches are going to go in A tier. Um, the first one I think of, I mean, well, this is actually our first GM is JB. I mean, he won a title. Um, he's also my second ranked person overall. Yeah, he's high. He's one of the highest win percentages. He's 75 and 48 all time. Tournaments, he's 57%. And he's got a title from season two. He's got the tip off in season four. He's got playoffs in season two and four. Actually, I didn't write how far he went in both of those. Well, he won that one, and then I'm pretty sure they got Elite Eight right here, so we'll have to fix that. And he went to the finals in season four of the ticket, or is that the ticket? No, that's supposed to be season three. That's all messed up. This is supposed to be season three. Well, I'll fix JB's. But JB's is like I said, he has a lot of accomplishments. He's been to he's done a lot of things for his org in a short amount of time. They are one of the most successful orgs in 2K League history. Um, but like I said, I mean, I think that he undoubtedly belongs in the top tier of things. He's going to be in the A tier, in my opinion. Um, the next person is going to be Kyle Rudy. Even though Kyle has had a very up and down career when it comes to winning and losing, he has two ticket championships. He also won a title in season one. He has made the playoffs twice. He's also been in the final four for the churn and a final four for the ticket in season two. So he's had a lot of success. His record, I mean, he has a negative record, which is something that hurts him, but his tournament record is 50%, which is pretty good compared to most people. He's still in that upper tier when it comes to that aspect of things. But Kyle Rudy definitely belongs in the A tier with his title at least. Um, the next person that probably comes up, would be Jeff Terrell or Rustin. So the thing about Rustin and Jeff Terrell is that Rustin and Jeff both have very good records. So like Rustin's 86 and 61, Jeff is 97 and 71. So they both have like a 58 win percentage. Rustin's a little better in tournaments with 44 and 30 compared to 54 and 41. Jeff has had a lot more appearances in tournaments when it comes to Final Fours. Final Four in the Churn season one. He was in the finals for season two of the Churn. He was in the ticket final three back in season three. And he was also in the ticket finals this past year in season four. He also is a coach of the year. He's been in playoffs 3 out of his 4 years. He has two ticket banners, and he lost the championship in season two. So he's had a lot of he's gone far in a lot of tournaments and playoffs. Obviously, he's been in contention, so he will be the first person that appears on here with a no title. So everybody up here basically has a title except Jeff. Um, but he's one of the most decorated people, basically outside of Rustin here, who doesn't have a title. Rustin comes next. Rustin has been very successful as well for Warriors Gaming. If you guys haven't known, he's been around for 4 years with Warriors Gaming, so since their existence. So if we look at his resume, obviously he went to the finals back in season three and lost. Um, he won a ticket banner and a churn banner in season two. He went to the playoffs season two, three, and four. He's been in the final four at least every time. He was in the finals in season three where he lost. Record, 86 and 61, and he's 44 and 30. Next, you have Cameron, who Cameron's been very underrated for his career. He's the GM for Blazer 5 Gaming, if you don't know. Um, he has a turn banner in season one. He has a ticket banner in season three. He's been to the first. So, one thing I just want to say is Elite Eight, he's been basically first rounded every season of playoffs. Wild card is the first round of playoffs as well. He's been to the finals in season one of the ticket, and he was in the finals of the ticket. Well, not the ticket. The tip off tournament. He was in the finals season one. Season four, he was in the finals of the churn and the ticket. So his team has been competing for a very long time. They've been playing very well. So he belongs in this B tier just based off of his career. But, him being here, like, this is the explanation for why he belongs up here. What's up, DJ? But, like I said, like, analytically, I've calculated everybody and where they belong as, like, coaches and GMs. So, like I said, now you're starting to see a lot of GMs appear on here just because they've been a part of it. Like, a lot of these guys have been a part of the franchise since day one, and they've built up the success of these orgs. Next person that comes on the list is going to be Comp and Shane. So Comp is over. So if you guys see my rankings, this is kind of just the order of things. So Comp is like the reason I have Cameron over Comp in my rankings for coaches slash GMs is because I feel like with Comp, like he's made a he made a title run obviously, which is very valuable. He's been in the playoffs twice, Coach of the Year, All Star coach. Was in the Final Four for the turn in season two. He was in the ticket final four for season three. He was also in the churn final four for season three. So he's had a lot of deep runs, just as many as Cameron. But Cameron's 100 wins is just so impressive. I think that's something we have to account for. That one thing Comp is better at though is in tournaments. He has a better record, so that's one thing that definitely I think is stronger. But Cameron making playoffs every year is very impressive, especially after trading two MVPs. They won the churn in season one, right? Yes, they did. Are you talking about Cameron? If you're talking about Cameron, yes, correct. Cameron won the churn in season one. That's what that one. So if you guys are wondering, the ledge, I created a legend here. So on the left here, this is basically the one, two, three, and four is the season. It was the what like whatever they did, that's what it was accomplished in that season. The red is the banner loss. Banner win is the gray playoff appearance, coach of the year, all star, and then these are just your tournament placings here. Wild card is basically so if there some seasons there was 10 teams, the last season there was 12. So if like you got eliminated in the first round, that's wild card, and then after that round was elite eight. So like if you're wondering what wild card is, it's basically the round before the elite eight when they added more than 8 teams to the playoffs. Um, but anyway, as I was saying, um, with Comp, he's my seventh ranked. I just think that Cameron being able to go to playoffs every year is very impressive. Yes, he's been first rounded, but he has two banners. He's been to multiple finals. He's been to three different finals and just lost in finals. Like he's had a very impressive resume, and he's very underrated. But like I said, you can't go without saying Comp has had a very very good career so far. Shane is 16-0, has two banners. The reason I put Comp over him is just because I think with Comp has made deeper runs in tournaments. I think Shane had like one really good year with season three. Like a lot, if you notice, a lot of their awards and everything is just season three strictly. Season one, they did make the playoffs, but they did get first rounded. But like I said, I feel like Comp is just has that slight edge, especially with that title run. He has that slight edge um, over Shane, in my opinion. Um, but anyway, like I said, so Shane, but they're still both in the same tier, Shane and Comp. These are two guys I think that deserve it. They're both Shane's a very good GM. Comp has been a very good coach. I know that I don't know who the GM of the Jazz are. I know Josh Barney used to be the coach, or not the coach, the GM. I don't know if he's still there, but I would assume that he might be there in some type of facet. But either way, like I said, that's my other tier B. That's my other tier B GM slash coach. Um, Next list. So like I said, this is the first page. It's the top 8 coaches in 2K League history. Um, it's not even just my opinion statistically. Next comes up, we have a couple coaches who are so. This is where people will ask, well, why are two Warriors gaming coaches on here? So I think that it's fair to say, now that Josiah is the assistant GM, Josiah has had the craziest transition of a career ever. He has built his way up. He was originally a scout. Obviously, he was a journalist in the community. He built up from a scout to a assistant coach to now to an assistant GM for an organization. So I felt like it was just wrong not to have him on here. And this is where his resume basically brings him. I mean, he's a very, very good player, very good, overall person. And like I said, I gotta fix this, but I'll fix that later. But like I said, Josiah and Mike Check both belong, in the higher tier, just because of like their short-term accomplishments. I mean, both of them obviously have the same exact resume, but 57 and 57% win percentage in tournaments and 60 almost 63% and one in just regular overall their record is impressive. So um, both those guys have to be in the B tier, so I have to bring both of them in. Let me find both their pictures. So they, like I said, I just think that their resumes alone are just so impressive, and it's fair for them to be in the higher tiers. I know some people don't like the idea of there being multiple people from one administration, but like I said, it was my choice. Um, but like I said, you have three people from Warriors Gaming. I'm gonna keep it like this for now. Let me just make his picture a little bigger. But like I said, I just think that it's fair for Josiah. I think Josiah, I mean, as long as he stays with the Warriors, I see Josiah just continuing to become like even more of an impact, like a bigger like role for the Warriors. I could see Josiah becoming the GM. Like if Rustin was to leave, I could see him like taking over the GM role if Rustin ever got a promotion or something to something else within the Warriors organization. Because I know a lot of times like people will work one job in this league and then next thing you know they're working another. So, but like I said, I think it's fair to put him there. Do you hold season 3 for a ticket to the same metric as season 1 and 2? Yes, I do. Um, because at the end of the day, like if you make the final, I'm only accounting for finals and final fours West. So it's not like I'm going for just like it's not like I'm going for elite eights or something. Like you won a game to get into the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like you got in the deep into to a tournament for something. So I guess on a certain limit, like I guess to a certain point you don't weigh it too much, but I think that I think it's fair that you still weigh it pretty heavy. I mean, it's a tournament. It basically gets you into playoffs for a big cash prize. I know not every team's in it, so it changes things up a little. So, but season 3 and 4 is still valuable for what you do in those, like in the ticket. But again, anyway, so the next tier is tier C. Um, like I said, this is let me get to the next people. So the tier C starts out with Cameron and West. Um, so let me bring Cameron and West in here. Um, actually next to each other. Sorry. So I'll explain why. You know, like I said, I just think that you look at these tiers and you look at how goated like some of these tiers are, and you sit here and you're like, okay, that makes sense. Like I don't think these guys like even DJ Layton's still out here. Like DJ's had such a huge impact. DJ's better than Tier C, but unfortunately the way the pyramid goes, these are the guys that basically have had pretty good careers. Also I think that like with West, he's had very good asset management. He's done a very good job of moving trades and getting things going for his org to where he's made moves that have helped him get to the playoffs 2 years. But looking at their accolades, you have obviously season 3 Cameron with Blazer 5, he won the ticket. He has two playoff appearances in season 3 and 4. His 2 seasons that he's been with them, so he's 2 for 2. He's been in the finals for the ticket and the churn tournament. So he's at season 4. So he's had a lot of success in his 2 years so far. And this is like with trading away, like they traded away the MVPs, two MVP players, and they still were able to maintain their success. So that's huge. Um, next people, obviously, like I said, we got West here, who this past year he won the Churn season 4. He's been in the playoffs 2 times. He got into the Elite Eight both times. His record is 60%, so that's pretty good. Um, like I said, I think the only difference between like Cameron and not Cameron, it's not Cameron. Why do I have Cameron under his name? What was his name again? It's Skeezis or something, right? I have to change it. Sorry, I don't know why I'm calling him Cameron. Skeezis. I had Cameron in it because that's Cameron's other thing. So Skeezis, like I said, the reason why I have him over West is because of his 2 final runs in those 2 tournaments. I think that's a huge difference between the two. Do you are tournament records from? Are you asking where I got your tournament record from? I have 2K. I have a lot of stuff from 2K Labs, and I calculated. I was able to figure out because of 2K Labs. That's your tournament record. Appreciate the follow, Violet take. But I figured it out through using 2K Labs. That's your all-time record, and then I basically took all your regular season records, and I subtracted it from your all-time record and got your tournament record because that's how you do it. So your win percentage is 58%, which is one of the highest in the league. Obviously, like you have a very high win percentage in tournaments, which is something that should be noted. Um, which obviously is more important than anything. Um, but like I said, next on this is going to be DJ Layton and Nick Artrell. Um, I mean, these are 2 guys who, I mean, I definitely think when I go through these trades, like I feel like DJ has made a lot of big moves over the years that have really changed, that entire org. Like he's made big impact moves. Nick was there for the Kai trade, so it's like we have to account for stuff like that. Like Nick being there for the Kai trade. Obviously, they also were able to get Slaughter. They made a lot of moves that really made a huge difference for them. So I'm trying to make Nick's picture bigger. But Nick being here, I mean, he's a young coach. He played so Nick's been a coach for several years now, actually. So he started out with the Nets. He had his little assistant coach slash social media job with the Nets. He also was the assistant coach in season 3 for the T Wolves, and then he became a head coach for them. JB's already been on this list. JB's been is the GM. He's been the GM for 4 years. I mean, 3 years now since the existence of T Wolves Gaming. Will you drop your mock 2.0 player tiers on YouTube? Yes, I will. I'm planning on dropping it soon. I just haven't finished uploading it. But yes, I will. Um, but anyway, like I said, DJ's, he's in Elite Eight twice. He's been to the finals in the season 3 ticket and also the churn. He was in the final four. He was in the final four for the ticket as well this past year. And his record, like I said, he has a pretty good record. Nick, he's 500 in tournaments, which it's interesting. You would think with the T Wolves would be higher, but the Nets really hurt him a lot, like with his record. But Nick, Nick's had an early career. They won the churn. I mean, the ticket this past year, and they went to the final. They were in the finals for the ticket. That's because they earned that spot, so they were already automatically in that, but they still earned that spot. So they were in the finals, and then season 4 they were in the playoffs. They had a bye and then they lost basically in the Elite Eight, which it's not the first round, but they still lost their first game of playoffs that they played in the first series. Next up is Famous. Famous being at 15. Famous he's obviously had a lot of success back in season 1. It's been rough ever since. He has a negative record. He's actually our first person to appear on this list as a negative record. Um, he's also not done very well in tournaments. He's on the lower tier for tournaments, but him making these runs, he made a Final Four in the in the ticket after he lost in the finals, and then he had a Final Four this past year with the ticket as well with the ticket. So I mean the ticket. So tip off he was Final Four, and then ticket he was Final Four. For season four. Next up is Rico. So Rico has had a very strange career, and it's very underrated because Rico's career could have been so different if just some things would have gone their way. So if you look at it, he's been in the finals for both. In season one, he was in the finals for the ticket. He was also in the churn finals, um, and he was in the finals for the ticket in season two. Um, and he also made the playoffs in season two. So like, and he went to the final four in season two. So like, he's had a really good career. It's just that like these last 2 years have been so rough, and hopefully he can turn it around soon because it's been a while since we've seen Rico. Like he had really good early success in the 2K League, but it's not really gone much. He hasn't had really much in these last 2 years. He traded away Fab, and it turned into Tazo, Walking Bucket, and was it Colt they got in the first round? Like I said, I know that all those picks. When the trade went down, I just want to look at the old trade that he did. What's up, Reed? Um, I just want to look at the old trade that they had when they did this. Let me just go through it. Like the old trade they did, I felt like, Rico's trade didn't go well, in my opinion, and that hurts him. In my opinion. So I just want to look at this old trade that he did. Yeah, let me find it. Like I said, I have every trade here ever. So this is the trade right here. So they traded two first rounders for Fab, and it turned. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that it ended up turning into like Tazo and Colt or something like that, and they were already had their one first round. So, but having those two first rounders and not really getting much out of it, like they had a solid record this past year, but it just I don't know, like it's so tough for Rico, but Rico's had a really good early career, otherwise, but the next person, I gotta put Famous on here too. Like I said, Famous is up here in the C tier. Famous has had a really weird career because, like I said, he was really good early as well. Has had really bad years this last couple of years, and it's not looked good for him at all. Um, Hopefully he can turn it around. I mean, he did back in. I mean, I'm pretty sure he had a recent. Yeah, so he had a recent Final Four this past year in the ticket. But other than that, it's kind of been a very up and down career for him. Um, Next up, we have both Pistons people, so I know that this is Adam Rubin and DeJuan. So they basically have the same stuff because they've been with the Org for all 4 years. DeJuan is Coach of the Year. I know that I gotta take that off Adam Rubens. Adam's not a Coach of the Year. He's just a GM. They should have a GM of the Year if they have a Coach of the Year or like a front office. Like the league should do something like that. They should add an award for like front office of the year or something. Hang on, let me fix that. But anyway, like I said, let's see something. Um, this season went 11-3. Will you drop? Oh yes, I read that. But yeah, Dwan and Adam, they're gonna be next up in my tiers list, so they're gonna go they're gonna probably be the last two people that go into tier C. So I'm gonna add these two to the tier C category. Um, like I said, I think they've had really good careers so far, and that's a lot of people to be putting in tier C too. Like I put a lot of people in here. So that's all your tier C. That's your tier B. That's your tier A. I mean, you could probably add one more person to tier A, but I really want to make that an exclusive club. I don't want to overcrowd it. But for now, I think this is fine. Um, Now we get to the bottom tier, and there's going to be a lot of coaches that kind of get snubbed out of this, and it's like I can't believe they're this low. But you'll see with their careers how it's gone. So we move over to wet. I mean LT, and like I said, touching back on Adam Dewan, they've been to two Final Fours in season one. Adam, shoot, why isn't Adam's thing? Hang on, I have to fix that. But they went to two Final Fours in season one. They had a really, it's crazy how good that season was for them. They really had an impressive year. And then they were able to, they were able to go to the playoffs, and they got first rounded, and both times they've been in playoffs have been first round. Like this past year, they get they get in the wild card or the first round or playing whatever you call it, and they get first rounded. So like it's not like it hasn't been terrible for them, but like they haven't really done anything since season one. But that success is, I mean, it matters. It still carries over in my opinion. Um, but anyway, like I said, make sure. Um, I'm sorry, I'm just throwing some music on. Um, but next up is LT. LT has had a very, I guess, say average career. He's been 500. He's 57 and 56, 26 and 27. He made the playoffs twice. His first 2 years were pretty good because they were able to make the playoffs. They were top, teams. But this past year really brought his, numbers down. He had a really bad year. Um, but he made the first round both times of his playoff appearances. Fortunately, he just, it didn't work out. Um, the next person up, and I might actually the only reason I think LTI ranked him over OG is because when it comes to it, like his tournament record, LT's tournament record is a little better, and his win percentage is better. But the one thing about OG is he did have a Final Four in season four. So, like I said, I've debated changing that. It's definitely something that you could argue was definitely, you know, something that it could, But I also have to say, like LT, like his moves, like he was able to get, he like over the years. I mean, he's made a lot of he's made a lot of moves, but like they didn't work out. So his move, like he traded away, he traded away Sherman and Pete, who both did retire. He got Jerry out of it, which I mean, that's about it. Like they haven't really got anything. They got Zay Bucks, I guess, too, but it's really interesting. Like this is a big year for LT. He can make a huge jump or he can make a huge fall after this year. OG, like I said, he's had a lot of issues internally with his team. His trades, I mean, he never got like Jinsanity never got to play, and he traded for Jinsanity. Obviously, Chocolate, got suspended. Well, he's gone from the league forever. Ramsey had a little suspension. Rando got suspended from the league. OG's just had a lot of issues like internally with his players, and he's still been able to kind of have solid success, so that's good for him. But um, it's just like I said, it's a little bit of a concern. Um, but overall, he's got a solid resume. But next up is Cody. Cody, I mean, Cody for like season two, he had a good season two. He made playoffs. They went to the finals in the ticket. They also this past year made the playoffs. His all-time record is not. It's solid. It's 60 and 69. It's not crazy good. But, it's all right. Um, Tournaments, they're really bad. He has one of the worst tournament records. His team never does well in tournaments. Like that's the one thing about the Pacers; they struggle in tournaments. Um, and then you have Jonah. Jonah has gone to the Final Four in a lot of tournaments. He's had a very 500 career, I guess you could say. A lot of years the Magic go 500. He's made the Final Four in season two for both the ticket and the tip off. Also in the tip off, he made the Final Four this past year. But he's had a very average career. But he's been to a lot. He's been deep in some tournaments, so that helps him a little. But next up is hang on, let me fix this real quick. Next up is Lang Whitaker. So Lang, I mean, Lang's had a lot. He's a GM, and I guess he's kind of their coach. I don't know really. I know they've had some scouts over the year they've hired. Scouts they've hired over the years. Um, but he makes playoffs finally after 4 years. They went to a Final Four last year inside of the ticket, and it's just been a very below average career for them, and they've struggled. So they really haven't been that good. And his tournament record is one of the worst in 2K League history. 33% win percentage in that is so bad. Len, he's been to two Final Fours, which is pretty good. I mean, Len definitely I could rank higher. I should probably rank Len higher just because he should probably be over. He should probably be above Jonah. That's probably where he should be. I'm actually gonna move him right now. I think looking at this now, Len should be higher. Let me move him up. I'm gonna move Len up to like probably right below Cody, just because Cody still has been to playoffs twice. I think the only reason I had like Lang and Jonah above him was just their deep runs. But looking at this more, just fix that. And like I said, I'll make sure to post this on social media for everybody so they can go see this. Um, like I said, this took a lot of time to do, guys. So please, like I said, show your support. I appreciate it. Um, but let me put Len here. I think Len belongs at least at 22. And like I said, Len has an early career. Len hasn't been in the league that long, so it's kind of tough for him. But next up, well, let's go adjust the tier. So, and obviously, everyone at this point is gonna be in the last tier. And it's not that they're bad. It's nothing against them. Like it's just that the way it's set up it's just this is how it goes. I mean, we're just gonna put them all down here. Honestly, I might need to make one more tier. I might make like I might make it like an F tier. That's what I'm gonna do. Because I don't think these guys belong in the same category as these next guys I'm gonna mention. Because these next guys I mention are like the worst all time. But yeah, because these next guys had really bad careers. Let's do this. Yeah. So I'm just adding another tier. It's gonna be the F tier. Basically, the worst of all time. And I feel like this is a very good tiers list. I feel like it goes by numbers. It's tells you everything you need to know. And I mean, I can go in depth with trades and stuff like that people have made. Mistakes that have been made over time. Um, that definitely have affected some things. I'm just waiting for this to load. There we go. This. I'm just adjusting this real quick. Dude, I was wondering why it wasn't working. like I said. So I'm making a bottom tier here. This is gonna be the F tier. Basically, like, shit. I don't know why it keeps doing that. Oh well. Alright. Well, let's just make a mini box. The computer is like overwhelmed with how many freaking things windows I have open. No, OG's not higher. What makes OG higher? Who are you bringing down? You tell me. You tell me who goes down and who goes up. Like I'm sure OG's at the cutoff maybe, but like I don't know, man. You're if you look at the careers, like I mean, you tell me right now, who you moving down? Are you moving LT down? Because LT has a better tournament record and he has a better overall record than him. The only difference, OG went to the Final Four, which favors him a little. So I could see that argument there, but like those two are on the same tier. Who you bring down in this tier? Famous is like the only one I could argue, but Famous went to the finals. Like Famous is the only one in the C tier that you could probably bring down. But like this is a strong case. Like this is no like these tiers don't have much bias on it. It's by the numbers. Like you I'll be honest, like you can't really get a better tiers list than this because this is like by the numbers. Waiting for this to copy. OG went to the playoffs 2 out of his 3 seasons. So did LT. What do you mean? LT went 2 out of his 3 seasons to the playoffs. What's this based off of? Everything. I analytically took the time to track everybody's final fours. I tracked everyone's playoffs, their the tournaments they've won, coaching awards they've won, all-time record, their tournament win percentage, everything. Like that's what this is based off. There's no bias in this at all. Like this is maybe there might be like what you value more might be bias. Like I value certain things more than other coaches. Like Rico has had a very good career. His win percentage is much better than like OG in them. Like his win percent. Like I will say the one thing with like Adam and Dwan is their win percentages are lower, but they've been to the playoffs multiple times and they've gone deep in tournaments. Also, Dwan has a coach of the year. So like those guys, like that's the only thing that hurts him. I don't even think that's correct. I guess it is. I guess you could argue that Coach Dewan and them, but they've been very deep. They've been deep in 2 tournaments. Like they went to 2 Final Fours. These guys' careers are basically the same. Like look at this. This is basically the same. The only difference is like he has a better overall. He has a better record, but like they went to 2 Final Fours. So like, I kind of value that a little more. So, I mean, I just think that that's a little more valuable. You can argue that you can bring them down, but like I said, I think that for now, this is where these guys are at. And then the bottom of the bottom. So this is the worst here. So I'm gonna put Sam Pham as the last D tier person. Um, just because I don't think he belongs in like the shitter, I guess you could say. This is the bottom of the bottoms. Like these are like the worst. GMs in 2K League history slash coaches. But like I said, there's a lot of this is just based off of the accomplishments. Like there's like I took the time to basically calculate it. Whereas Nick, we can just lower him. Nick's in the C tier. Um, I'm gonna keep him in the C tier. Nick's had a pretty good career. Nick's had just as many years as OG and LT, and he's had a better career. Jonah got to be at the bottom. Hasn't made the playoffs once. Yeah, but Jonah also has been in the Final Four for 3 different tournaments. He's had a solid career. Like it's not crazy good, but it's like he's average. You know what I mean? His has been pretty bad, uh, but he's in. I think he's where he belongs. So 25th is Sam Pham. So Sam Pham, with the Bucks, he's been with the Bucks all 4 years. Um, he's below 500. He's way below 500. Um, his record's pretty bad. He went to the playoffs one time in season 3, and he went to a Final Four in season 2 for the Churn tournament, which is pretty good. Next, you have Wes, who besides like one Final Four, he hasn't had anything else in his career besides the Final Four and the ticket in season 3. He's 37-70. His tournament record is 19-28. He made a trade to where he traded basically all his picks away to get BP, and that's just hurt him ever since. Austin, ever since Austin's become coach, like besides season 1, the Cavs have just been bad. His record's 39-69, which is one of the worst in the league. He's one of the worst tournament records in the league history. And Matt from the Lakers, his is the worst. He's 22-85. He's got a 20.6 win percentage and 13-34 in tournaments. So like his is like the worst. You should be taking things like that into consideration. Jesus is on here. What are you talking about? I don't know why I have to change Ski's name. I accidentally put Cameron the Skis. Forgot I did that. I take that into account, but like Jonas still had a solid career. Like he still had some good things in his career, despite his, all the bad. I don't think that he belongs in the F tier with like Wes and Austin and Matt. Theirs are like far, far down. Like their careers have been really bad. But no, that's about right. That's how it's looking. You got maybe there's too many people in C tier. I could make C tier a little smaller. I could take these two out of C tier. I think I might do that. I might take Famous out of C tier too. Make some room. Yeah, let's take a couple people out of that. Let's take. Who can we? We'll take. We can put them here. This way. Spread them out a little. There you go. looks a little better to me. But that looks fair. I think this. I think it was a great list. I should really move some people down. Now, F tier has to be like a exclusive club. Like you had to be pretty bad. It's just so bad. Like their careers were so like these like Wes, Matt, and Austin. Like they're good guys, but like their careers have just been so hard. But sometimes you can't control your team, but it's been 3 years. Like they've all had 3 years. It's at one point. It's kind of like something's got to happen. But yeah, hang on. Let me fix something real quick, guys. I'm just editing. I'm just editing something real quick. There we go. There we go. I'm just creating an F tier. There you go. F tier. F tier. Comp isn't tier A. Who are you bringing down? Who are you bringing down, Frank? How is he tier A? I have this broken down by like so. Who are you bringing down? Because P Cross is S tier. JB is JB, Kyle, and Jeff are all basically A tier. Comp isn't over Cameron or Rustin. Like he made a title run, but Cameron has made playoffs every year. He has 2 banners. He's made multiple finals for tournaments. He Cameron's resume is more impressive than Comp's. Comp, yes, he made he made it to a championship, but Cameron as a GM has a more impressive resume, and so does Rustin. Like Rustin is definitely over Comp if we're talking about people like resume. So like Comp's like he's not like the next up. Yeah, what do you mean? Look at the 2 resumes. I have the comparisons here for a reason, Frank. Doesn't matter. Comp's not A tier. Like he has to get in line behind Cameron and Rustin to be A tier. Maybe as a coach he's A tier, but if we're taking GMs and coaches, which is that's what this is, he's down the totem pole. He's where he belongs at 7. Like I mean, whose resume is it better than? Is he better than like Cameron? Also, is the only person in league history to have over 100 wins. Like I think Comp can pass Cameron this year. Like Comp has a very very good win percentage. He has one of the highest win percentages in the league, which is good, and that's his one argument. But he also doesn't. He hasn't finished. Like Cameron has two. He has 2 banners. Like I don't see any way how he can be over. He can be over Cameron or Rustin, who have 2 banners. And Comp didn't. Comp missed the playoffs one of his years, and Cameron hasn't. Cameron's made the playoffs every year, and he traded 2 MVPs away. You know, Also, Comp made a trade to bring in and expose him. Like he traded a first round pick to bring in and expose him. Cameron traded 2 MVPs away and was able to make playoffs after that. That's much more impressive. Who on this list is tiered above him? Right here. There you go. They're all Comp's on the same tier level as Cameron and Rustin. But he's not taking anyone's spot here. He's not taking Jeff Terrell's spot. He's not taking Kyle Rudy's spot. He's not taking JB. These 2 have won titles. Like they They own these spots. They have they're an exclusive club. There's only three people in management that have titles. Plus, Kyle Rudy has two ticket banners, and JB has a tip off banner. So like that alone, like you look at these two over here, like look at Jeff Terrell's accomplishments. Like look at all this like with Jeff Terrell. I mean, Kyle Rudy has his, Kyle Rudy's also been to two Final Fours for tournaments. His tournament record, I mean, that's the one thing. I think that the one thing that hurts Kyle Rudy is his regular, his all-time record is pretty rough. But other than that, he still wins big tournaments, and he's gone far in tournaments. Um, but JB, I mean, he's got a title, he's got a banner, he's got a very good record, he's got a very good tournament record, he's got two playoff appearances, and he's been to the finals in the ticket. So like overall, like I just think that this is like the correct like layout. I don't see comp moving up right now. Like maybe after this year, a lot will change, but right now, like these are all the tiers. I think these tiers are like the correct tiers for everybody. Like I think everyone is where they need to be. Like I said, I think that some people, you can argue some things. I had more people in C tier. I actually just moved Adam into one down, but they are like the cusp of C tier. Like they were in C tier, but I made less space in C tier, so we have more people down here. I mean, I want to move some people down to F tier with these guys, but I just don't think like Len needs more time in his career. I feel like Lang and Sam Pham could go down in the F tier, but they're kind of like D tier though too. So I'll keep those two there for now. But I mean, I feel like this is a good list here. I mean, this is like I said, this was the bottom people. Um, this was like the three bottom people, and then this is this is the worst people, and then this is the best people. Like you see the huge difference. Like this system that like I said, everything I've laid out is the best representation of everybody. And like I said, the legends over here, I'm going to be posting this on social media for everybody. But does anyone have any question? What's the Discord? I'll invite you to the Discord. I'll hear it out. I'll hear you out. I'll send you a link. Give me a second. Let's see. Let me just put the link in the chat. I gotcha. And again, I know you're gonna defend Comp, but Comp should not be over Cameron or Rustin. Just join the voice chat whenever you do come in, and I'll drag you in. Whew. Let's see. I'll just go into the voice chat. Just join in, Frank, whenever, and let me know. But no, I mean, for the most part, it's tough with tiers list because it's like, and that's why I did two different setups. Like, so I have the tiers list here, but I also have like an order of things. So like that's it. Yep, I can hear you. That's fine. Go ahead.
Being the worst, the best of the worst over 4 Final Fours when you have to be competitive.
So when I look at Cameron, right? Cameron had.
I get it. You want to value the championship over a lot of the stuff, and that should be a key factor, but that should not be beside the fact.
The championship? I mean, right? Well, Kyle.
No disrespect to him, but like with the best of the worst.
but he has two ticket banners, and he has a championship, and he's made the playoffs
Yeah,
twice, and he's been to two Final Fours.
yeah. But if you put his resume against Comp's better. Four Final Fours, Coach of the Year, like
Coach of the
think
year,
about
but
it's insane to have Comp that low and you're rating Patrick Carson that high. When if you would ask anybody, they're 1 and 2 right now coaching. It's just wild that you think Patrick. You think Patrick Carson is the best in the business, then Comp is number 2. Like that's been a proven fact in the last 2 years. For you to rank him above people
now
like
if anything, Jeff Terrell's over him. Yeah, he is. Jeff,
Jeff Terrell did not have big games.
no, I mean,
The COVID horrible. And this last year they didn't beat the Nets that they should have killed in the playoffs. Jeff Terrell is not overcome.
I mean, I I just think, but looking at Jeff's accomplishments compared to Comp's accomplishments, it's better. No, he has two banners. He has two tip off banners.
It's a ticket that's not above making a Final Four in the tournament that matters. You gotta remember, when, like when Calvary did that, I'm not saying Jeff Terrell's not good. He's good. I'm not saying Jeff overcome. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying to you is you're evaluating Calvary's two ticket banners, which is being the best of the worst over someone who's four Final Four in the competitive tournament.
But he still won a title. That should be. He's one of the
Yeah,
three
that title should
people.
not be being like in the game where he's the best of the worst. That doesn't make it okay. Like that doesn't give his title more validation than someone's doing right now.
He had the hardest path to become a title champion.
Yes, because he's the worst.
Yeah, but he still won a title.
No, he didn't make 50. He won 50. So like, has he ever made the playoffs straight up?
No.
Think about his lost record as a coach, and you look at Cosmo's lost record. Like, I don't mind it. I just want to make sure you have because people feel like you have proper context. You don't. It's wild. Bangers higher than you're holding 54 Final Fours and money tournament.
Yeah, but he also has a like that. I'm sorry, like the title matters more than anything. He
Like you can't. This title is not like it's a title. This is the first one. But nobody's ever going to win that way ever again. Like, and even when he won it, they weren't making the play. They weren't.
but they made the then they make like the Elite Eight and they had to go against the freaking Wizards. They upset a team in the first round and
Different. Like it wasn't like how it is now, where it's more based in pros than it was in year one. Remember the round one was best of one, round two like best of whatever. Like it's different. Like I'm not knocking his championship. Out of the championship, you want to validate for the championship, that's fine. But when you want more banners, no, you can't count ticket banners as something as an accomplishment. You're the best of the worst. Like let's be real. You're talking about a coach who never made the playoffs alone.
oh I mean
Yeah,
but
coach of the
see
year.
but season but
Like,
okay
and it's coach of the year.
but season one the ticket had all the best teams in it. Like it wasn't like season four ticket. So I can understand season three and four, but
Yeah, but
the season one ticket had everybody in it.
remember, you didn't have to win the best of three until you got to a certain round. It wasn't like how it is now, where the Knicks probably wouldn't have came out of that. Like, but the way you did this year is more impressive in terms of the ticket. But it's still the worst, of the best of worst. Guys like look at it.
I again at the end of the day, like if I like go look at
I'm
all
not
time.
saying LeBron. It's
No, no,
LeBron
no. I understand. I understand. I understand.
ticket makes you tired and a lot of stuff. And that's weird too. But I agree. It's your thing. I'm just
It's not the ticket banners. It's more, if anything, it's the title win that he has. And I understand, like, yes, like there's been best of threes now, and it creates a more competitive. Like it's a more competitive, but he's still like it's not like the fact like. But what
I think right. I just wanted to hear the justification. I think Cal was a great coach. I was just more like, and I hear you talk, it sounds weird that you're placing those banners for being the best of the worst over like someone who's like coach of the year. Like Cal Rudy, even when he won the championship, he wasn't in the conversation for coach of the year. He went to
He
the
should have. Yeah, it should have been
so like that's what I'm
Kyle.
saying.
No, no one expected to want like coach of the year like back then was messed up too because Kyle Rudy should have won it. Like it shouldn't have.
For the history books, but it's like that's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
He wasn't even in the conversation. So you're giving someone a higher tier than they even wasn't in the competition. Like when we said Jeff Terrell, that makes sense for coach of the year, made to the finals. Like oh, like that's tier A. But like if it comes out tier A, then well, tier A.
Rustin. I mean, even if you move Kyle Rudy down, Rustin has to go in above comp.
It's still tricky. Rustin, like that gets a little tricky. Rustin has 3 years.
Yeah, but it's all his success all his success is literally after season 2, basically leading up to comp. So
I think I'm putting Rustin with the African Rustin. I think you have Josiah too high.
what's wrong? What's wrong with Josiah? Because just
Josiah over there. That's my personal.
why should Nick be? He went to
I
the
think
finals.
I think it's the first coach, the youngest coach, 1, 2.
I don't care how old you are. That does not matter.
But that's not skill level. Like any other coach, like let's say Cat Tuck, what did Cat Tuck was the youngest coach, and he didn't have the same success Nick had. Like, and then you like it's crazy. You give JB Nick's credit. You say, oh well, they won the chip. No, Nick won the chip. Now you want to say because they were in the same organization, you want to give it to both. But let's be real, that was the coach's win. So like, so you saw when Nick wasn't there, they didn't win. They didn't go. They didn't get out in the first round, and whatever tournament that was, the term. So like, I don't mind. It's like the way you're doing it and the way you're skewing people ahead of other people is weird. But it's your list, man.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine. But how
I'm just curious. Me talking to you now, I'm just curious to hear how it came about. Like I'm wondering how you like you're weighing the ticket like a high thing. Like ticket's not. Yes, I respect the bandit chain. I think everybody with the bandit chain or piece of bandit chain should be considered a high skill level, but not the ticket. Like that's really the best of the worst. Like
yeah,
when you
I
when you
mean,
go
even if you move Josiah and Mike Newton down, who are both like involved with the Warriors,
no, I think Scott might do okay.
well, but
I think Stein giving him a lot of more credit for the success than you are giving Nick for the credit of the T-Wolves' success. And you have to remember, T-Wolves was essentially out of here that second year. They did not make the playoffs. Or did they make a ticket? Did they make the playoffs eventually? No, I think they lost in that ticket.
they lost in the ticket finals,
Yeah, like
and
they need his high tier credit that you're not giving Nick all confidence.
Nick also was an assistant coach with Nets gaming crew. Just that, so I counted that into his career too.
For me, can you like on the stream? I'll let you go. Like as I'm playing 2K, I don't want to.
Yeah, but OG. I mean, but
Like, what's your
I
criteria of where the coaches why you put
okay. So number one, so when I look at it, and that's why I changed Adam and Dewan. Like, so those two guys, I could argue moving them down, but they do also have two Final Fours where they were two Final Fours in tournaments in season 1. And again, season 1's a lot different. Dewan also has Coach of the Year. When it comes to tournament record, I guess like with Kurt, he has a slightly better tournament record. But even then, his tournament record's not that good. He's under 500 with his record. If anything, I mean, the only thing he has is that Final Four this past year. Outside of that, but his first year in the league, it was really bad. His second year, he gets first rounded, and then he goes to the Final Four. So, I mean, I guess you can move him up above LT and maybe Adam, but like after that, like I don't like Rico. I'm not moving him above Rico. Like Rico,
I think the way, and I'm just saying this how it is now. It's more competitive now than what years ago. So I think recent success should matter a little bit more than past expect
hmm
like the fact you have Kyle Rudy tier A is crazy only because his success. I mean, he had recent success last year, but it was because he was the best of the worst. So it's like we just got to figure out what that means. I think he's a great coach. I don't know if he's better than a couple of coaches that you already have that you have ahead of him.
And I mean, oh shit. But looking, I mean, like I said, I mean, I think that most of the people, I mean, you can argue some people move up, some people move down. But what I value is deep runs in tournaments, and obviously, if you make a title run, that's fair. You know what I mean, and that's why comp is, in my opinion, without this title run, comp would move down a lot. Like
And
he's,
I agree. I think he didn't have the title run, but he still has the 4 Final 4s in the remote year. Like you got to say too, you got to count the remote year versus like
but what?
you put all up there. He did not perform at all in the remote year. Like you get what I'm saying? Like we gotta like it's gotta be some. That's why I said I think for me and maybe the stream I could be wrong because this is going on longer than I thought. Just give us the criteria in the stream. You don't got to put it on social media, but give us like write out the criteria of why you putting people there, not just saying it. Because that'll help me. Because all I'm hearing is
I
like,
explained it though early in the stream. I
yeah,
explained.
I know. If I said if you could write it out, I'm stupid. So if you could write it out, like, because like you don't have to. I'm just saying like it just threw me off, and I was looking. I'm like, wait a minute. But I get it now. You weighted championships very highly, which you should. Championship is the ultimate goal, regardless of how you got there. So that makes sense for Kyle Rudy. I just was more like, whoa, like the league is harder now than it was then. So I just want to make sure we count in recent success.
And
And
that
I'm not. It's not
and
even
that
comp. Like I said,
but Comp is top 7 for what he's done. Like again, like I think that even if you
all
if
right,
you
if he's top 7, right? How
yes,
many people do you have on your tier list ahead of him right now?
I mean it's probably 4 or 5. So right
All
now
right.
he's right here. He's like right here on the tiers list. He's got 4 people above
So let me
him, and
ask you a
then
question. Anybody on that tier list that's above him, are they higher on that top 7 list than him?
yeah,
Jeff
that's
Terrell, that's it, right?
yeah, Jeff Terrell, like Jeff Terrell,
So
Kyle,
think about that.
JV, and P Cross.
If he's top 7 and you have 4 whatever people ahead of him, only one of those people is truly ahead of him on your list, then we got to figure out there's a mistake somewhere, right?
I mean, Kyle Rudy is not wrong for his the thing is Kyle has a title. Like you have to value that more than anything. Like until Comp wins a title, it does not change. Like if
Yeah, I'm not saying you shouldn't value. I'm just saying based off of your criteria, he's number 7, and you only have one coach, or maybe two, because you already have CrossFit ahead of on that list. You have 2 coaches that's ahead of him on that list. That's not even in your top 7.
but
But we
I
know we get saying it kind of weird, but
but either way, I mean, looking at it though, like there's some outside things that I was trying to add to this too was just moves that people made over the years, right? Like one thing that Nick would make Nick higher is the moves they made this past year in the offseason where they traded for both Kai and they traded for Slaughter and how much that changed. They grabbed an MVP, right? And then for Comp, he drafted Splashy, right? And he had the first overall pick and was basically given Rhea because he had such a they had such a bad season 1. So and then he had the first overall pick and still had a bad year,
yeah, that's fair.
so,
That's fair. Yeah.
like that's another thing. Like he had a 500 year, but he should probably been better with
If you're gonna discount that, then you gotta discount the ticket banner championships. You know what I'm saying? Because like you was the worst team in the league, respectfully,
yeah,
right?
yeah, but analytically they weren't the worst team, but they were a bad team. But they still beat everybody to make playoffs, and then they like that first year they beat everybody that was good. They went through everybody, and they also went to a Final Four, if I'm not mistaken, in the first tournament. I mean, in one of the tournaments outside of the ticket, like they went to the Final Four in season 1 for the turn. So they played against they went to the Final Four for that tournament, and then they went to the Final Four again in season 2 for the ticket. So there's they made runs before. It's not like the yes, they've been good. Like they've been good in tournaments. Their regular season's the only thing that hurts them. Like Kyle Rudy 73 and 85 is the one thing that hurts him. But
Yeah,
that's
it's a
mainly because of
big
his
thing.
regular season.
Like, and I'll say this, I'll leave it there. Like, if you don't have him in your top 7, but you have comp 7, and then but you're saying he's better, then even by your own criteria, you've messed up.
I just like I said, I can't rank comp over someone who has a title.
I said, then I'm comfortable with that. I'm just saying, based on what you have,
Hmm.
what you put as your own criteria. Outside the
Hmm.
title, he should. There's a couple of coaches that should not be above comp, and maybe OG and Nick and whoever else. But like, you got Rico placed properly. But yeah, like, and that, like I said, just me looking at it with the
Well,
fan eye.
Jeff's a better coach than Comp. Like, and just overall.
Yes, I had to differ. I think Comp had success in the pandemic. Yeah, Jeff didn't. So like, to me, that matters because this league will be was going to be always going to have some remote gameplay to it. So will Jeff at some point, get that right? And we'll see. But
I mean,
that's a
but at the end of the day, Jeff, I know, even though Jeff has one more year, like, and that's
yeah.
probably the difference, and like that's the one difference you could probably say, but like Jeff has everything Comp has, but he just has he has like a more deeper runs. He has a couple more deeper tournament runs. Like he's had a deep run every year in the tournament, regardless of a win or not. Like even in season 3, like even though it's the ticket and we don't value the ticket, like you don't value the ticket that high.
I value the ticket, but I give the proper context to the
Hmm.
ticket,
Hmm.
if that makes sense.
But
Where I feel like, oh, you win the ticket. It's not the same as the tipple for the turn. You are essentially the best of the worst.
I think that Comp's had like the last 2 years he's been good, but that's awesome. You know what I mean? That's good. Like he's had a good run these last 2 years. You know,
No, I agree. And maybe that's not enough. But I do think you're not weighing recent success versus past success. And if you're gonna weigh past success that high, then we got to remember the context.
I mean, there's people who've had some recent success that are rated high though. Like
Who?
JB. I mean, JB is that really
But
that
you
far
can't
gone
count his
at
success
V
in Nick
Cross?
just the thing. Because you have a glaring. See, the thing about the JB and Nick thing, you have a glaring thing that shows the
JB,
difference.
but JB, the difference with
When
JB,
when Nick wasn't there, they did not make out the first round of turn. When Nick was there, they won the chip off. So you have a glaring distinction on why.
they won a title without Nick.
Yeah, I mean, and even with that, there's context, right? Like, and I ain't gonna go too deep because I don't want to go down old wounds. But good shot. Even with that, there's still context. But yeah, no, I like the list, man. I just wanted to make sure the criteria is good. Like, I felt like the criteria was crazy, but I
No,
mean, I respect the fact that you're valuing the championships that high.
no. I just think that like I'm happy for Nick, but he's not rated any above anyone here. DJ,
No,
I'm not
but I
rating.
think he rated high.
He's not
High.
above West. He's not above
Yeah,
DJ.
I don't think that. I think he should be higher than Josiah, but that's just me based off the records and accolades. But that's just me. But yeah, I think I like Josiah. I think we have him maybe equal to Josiah. But yeah, that's a good list, man. Keep doing your thing, man. I'm gonna go back to supporting.
I appreciate it, man. But anyway, so Bash Pops B5 banner away trolled last year because it didn't make a difference if they won it or not. Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, decide you shouldn't be on here. Can replace me. Great work tracking everything though, champ. I just I don't I put you on here because I think you have been doing a lot of the behind the scenes work that does not get credit. I think it's better to have everybody together. Like I know like where people are coming from, but like not to give credit to Josiah, like Josiah, like I think he does not get enough credit in my opinion. I mean, if we can sit here and say he wasn't a part of the tournament success, then I don't know what to say. But he didn't get promoted to assistant GM for no reason. You know what I mean? He worked his way up and got assistant GM. He's been with them since season 2. Nick and Josiah have had just as long careers, and Josiah has made a bigger leap in his career, and there's a reason for that. It's not just because Josiah got lucky. You know what I mean? Like Josiah's an assistant GM. Like YL got assistant GM for the Nets. You know what I mean? Like I just think Josiah has done a lot of things, and I think he's a better. I think he's a better coach, and he's a better GM. Like everything. Like I think that Nick, he was, I'm sure Nick's a good coach, but he also, you know, he has a former Finals MVP and champion. You know what I mean? It's like LeBron James. He has LeBron James on his team. You know, everyone has their opinions, but like, again, like, you know, I like where Skis and West are. Famous, I feel like I ranked Famous a little too high, but he did make that title run, but his record is really bad. Um, this right here, this is the other, like this is the other ones, and then the last part. But I mean, even if I removed like Josiah, I don't know if I would even put anyone on there. If I remove Josiah, which I don't want to, I really don't want to. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep Josiah. I think Josiah does a lot of underrated work. But like I said, I mean, I think that this is a pretty good layout. Trying to think anybody who's too low. Like I don't see anybody like I don't know who I can like I can move down in the in the C tier for anyone in the D tier. There's no one else. That's pretty much it. But yeah, I'm happy with the list. I think that this is the I get like people might rate might value different tournaments differently. Like people want to value the ticket as like this bad thing. Like I feel like you can't undervalue it. Like, yeah, it's like it's an entry. Like season one, they played everybody. Like it wasn't like a regular ticket championship. They had to run through every team in the league, and then they had to go to playoffs and play the best team in the league. And yes, it wasn't best of three, but they still had to go into a best of three against the Miami Heat, who were running through everybody. I'm trying to think. I just think that like I think the titles like ultimately like you have to be rated high with the title. You can't have someone over you without a title. Like I get it, Conf has had a really good recent 2 years. That's fine. And like the last 2 year, every year the league's getting more and more competitive, right? You know, next year's title is going to matter more than this year's title. So it's P Cross being number one. P Cross is number one because his 3 years he's got he's got two titles, and that's crazy. I mean he's been playing playoffs twice, and he's 2 for 3. Um, but I mean I get it, man. I get where Frank is coming from with the ticket. I really do, and I thought about that too, but I'm just gonna go with my way and how I rate it. But I respect it. I respect it. Um, but let me see. So I should be lower. OG knocked me out of the offs. That's the thing though. Like that's the tough thing about that West. Um, is it's like how are people's records against one another, right? So like I don't know what everyone's records are against one another. Like that's a tough thing. Because like there could be some glaring stat like Big West is like 0-10 against like Nick Gartrell or something like that. Like I know the Cavs like they lost so many times to the Knicks, so like it's like stuff like that. Like there's teams that probably have horrible records against other teams, but again, I think that I'm happy with the list. Like I create this content so everyone can kind of bounce off one another on like their opinions, and I'll be interested when I post this on social media what everyone's thoughts are. I'll make sure to upload this to YouTube right after I do this, but I'm probably gonna host somebody, guys, but I'm gonna run an ad. Please enjoy the ad, and please do me a favor, go show some support to my guy Steve. I'm about to host him. I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys like the tiers list. Like I said, this is my coach tiers list. I'll be working on some NBA 2K League tiers list for players soon, but this is my NBA 2K League coaches tiers list slash GMs. I appreciate you guys. I hope all you guys have a good night. And Champ 2K signing out.
They try to tell me what I can, what I can't do. Looking at them like I don't understand you. You never really know what life's gonna hand you. So I'ma do anything that I get the chance to. I keep it cooking like the pots and the pans do. Trying to make a few bops you can dance to. I be tight up on that ass like a pantsuit. I just wanna go this hot and cute. Mic check like